Listen, what if I told you that the single greatest wealth-creating machine in human history, the AI supercycle, is built on a foundation of smoke and mirrors? It is Wednesday, January 7th, 2026, and a leaked internal audit is currently circulating through the back channels of the SEC that suggests a $1.2 trillion discrepancy in how AI revenue is being reported by the biggest names in tech. We are talking about circular financing. We are talking about the Enron of AI. This isn't just a valuation adjustment. This is a potential systemic fraud that makes the 2008 subprime crisis look like a minor accounting error. While you were being fed the bull case by every talking head on the news, the giants of the Magnificent Seven have been caught in a pincer move. They aren't just selling chips. They are lending money to their own subsidiaries and strategic partners to buy those very same chips. It's called phantom revenue, and it's a house of cards that is about to catch fire. If you are holding tech stocks at these multiples, you aren't an investor, you're a victim waiting for the slaughter. The Shiller CP ratio is screaming at nearly 40. Buffett is sitting on a record $400 billion in cash, and now we finally know the real reason why. He saw the rot before the headlines hit. Stay with me for the next 11 minutes, because I am going to show you the circular debt map and exactly which stocks are on the shark kill list for 2026. This is the briefing the elites do not want you to see. Before I reveal the specific companies named in this leaked audit, I need to know, are you a passenger or are you a shark? Most of you are watching your net worth evaporate because you're following the herd. But the herd is heading for a cliff. At Kevin Strategic, we don't care about the hype. We care about the data. We are building the only command center on YouTube that gives you the cold, hard truth of the 2026 collapse while it's happening. If you want to protect your family's future while the AI bubble evaporates, you need to smash that subscribe button right now, hit the notification bell, join the tank. Because in this economy, if you aren't the one with the insider information, you're the one being farmed for liquidity by the big banks. Now, let's look at the circular financing trap that is about to break the S&P 500. Let's look at the signal versus noise. How does a company report record-breaking chip sales when the actual end-user demand is flat? You use circular financing. Here is how the Enron of AI works. A major tech giant invests $5 billion into a strategic startup. That startup then immediately uses that $5 billion to buy high-end AI chips from the same tech giant. The giant reports a massive revenue beat to Wall Street. The stock price rockets up, and the startup gets to stay in business another day. But there's no real cash flow. It's an accounting loop. The leaked audit suggests that as much as 30% of AI-related revenue in 2025 was actually just these internal loops. We are talking about $1.2 trillion in ghost sales that don't actually exist in the real economy. Buffett knows this. He's a veteran of the 1999 tech crash. He knows that when the Capex cycle is funded by debt and internal transfers rather than customer profits, the music is about to stop. This is why he exited his Apple stake. He isn't waiting for the SEC to announce the investigation. He's getting out while the liquidity is still there. Are you? Look at the Capex Gap. In 2025, the Magnificent Seven spent over $500 billion on AI infrastructure chips, data centers, cooling systems. But the actual revenue generated from AI software and services? Less than $20 billion. That is a 25-to-1 ratio of spending to earnings. You can't run a business like that. It's unsustainable. The market has been pricing these stocks as if that $500 billion spend was going to turn into trillions of dollars in profit by tomorrow morning. But the reality is, the productivity gains from AI are taking much longer to hit the bottom line than the hype men promised. We are seeing a digital Capex trap. Companies are forced to keep spending just to keep up with the competition, even though they aren't making any money from it yet. This is exactly what happened with the fiber optic cable build-out in the late 90s. We built the infrastructure, but the companies that built it went bankrupt before they could profit. History is repeating itself in 2026, and the phantom revenue is the only thing keeping the stock prices afloat. Follow the smart money. While the retail investor is buying the dip, the biggest institutional players, the BlackRocks and Vanguards of the world, are quietly moving to the exits. The leaked audit shows a massive spike in insider selling among tech executives over the last 90 days. They are dumping their shares into your buy orders. They know the audit is coming. They know the SEC is starting to ask questions about revenue recognition policies. When the big institutions start selling, they don't do it all at once. They do it in dark pools and slow tranches so they don't spook the market. But the volume data doesn't lie. The distribution phase of this bull market is over. We are now in the exit phase. Buffett's $400 billion cash hoard is the ultimate signal. He is the biggest shark in the water. And he's not just sitting on his hands, he's waiting for the AI Enron to pop so he can buy the 10% of companies that actually have a real business model. If you are 100% in tech, you are the exit liquidity for the billionaires. Stop being the patsy at the table. Now, let's add the Fed to the mix. Jerome Powell and the Fed governors are in a corner. Inflation is sticky at 3%, and the economy is flashing K-shaped instability. They can't lower interest rates significantly because it would reinflate the AI bubble and send inflation back to 9%. So they are executing a pincer move. They are keeping rates higher for longer, specifically to drain the speculative excess out of the tech sector. They want to pop the bubble now before it gets so big that it takes down the entire banking system. When you combine high interest rates with a revenue fraud investigation, you get a liquidity crunch. Tech companies that rely on cheap debt to fund their circular financing are going to hit a wall. Their borrowing costs are going up while their ghost revenue is being scrutinized. It's a death spiral for speculative tech. Buffett is sitting in treasuries at 3.6% because he knows the Fed is about to break the back of the Mag 7. Don't think for a second that this is just a stock market problem. The AI Enron is going to hit the housing market next, especially in tech hubs like San Francisco, Austin, and Seattle. If the tech giants have to cut their capex spending by 50% to satisfy auditors, we are going to see massive layoffs in the most expensive cities in the country. We are already seeing house-poor families spending 50% of their income on mortgages. What happens when the $300,000 tech salary disappears because the circular financing loop broke? The American dream becomes a nightmare. You'll see a flood of inventory hit the market in these cities, and with mortgage rates still above 6%, there won't be any buyers. This is the wealth effect in reverse. I'm telling you, keep your 30% rule. If you can't afford the house on a base salary without the stock options hype, you can't afford the house. Buffett isn't buying San Francisco real estate, he's buying cash. You should be doing the same. So what is the strategic play? I only buy what the world needs. Right now, the world needs energy and infrastructure. While the AI Enron is collapsing, the demand for power is real. The AI data centers still need electricity. Whether their revenue is real or not, I'm moving my capital into the hard assets that power the digital world: nuclear energy, high voltage transmission, and safe haven dividends. I'm looking for companies with zero debt and positive cash flow. I want companies that pay me to wait. This is the Buffett strategy. You own the boring, essential stuff that everyone takes for granted while the speculative trash gets burned. Rebalance your portfolio today. Get your weighting in tech down to a safe 5% or 10% and move the rest into the fortress. This is your final warning for January 7th, 2026. The music just stopped. The 1.2 trillion AI Enron leak is the pin that pops the bubble. Do not be the last one holding the bag. Do not listen to the experts who tell you to hold to the volatility. This isn't volatility. This is a systemic reset. Buffett is sitting on $400 billion for a reason. He's ready to buy the rebel, but only after the fraud is exposed and the prices are down 60%. Are you going to be the one selling to him at the bottom? Or are you going to be the one standing next to him with your own pile of cash? Hit the like button if you're ready to be a shark. Comment below. The bubble is popping, so I know who is paying attention. I'll see you at the opening bell. Don't get slaughtered out there. Get rich.